We are talking about a very, very interesting DNA called We Will Elevate. When I first heard this, We Will Elevate, I was like, this makes absolute no sense. I just heard the name. But then, when I read into it, it says, we freely give honor to everyone. Women, men, all ages and all races. We reveal God's value for each person by opening our homes and our lives. We honor our leaders who serve us. We honor God when we build a culture that honors people. How many times is honor written in that? 4 times. So it from we will elevate, which to me meant like, okay, fine, you put people up on a pedestal, okay, but it's much more than putting people up on a pedestal. It's about giving them that honor, okay, and we learn, understand, and I'll try and take you through how we define honor, how the world defines honor in a few seconds, okay. So moving on, so while this DNA focuses on doing things for other people, okay, doing things for other people, the thing that it does to us is we have to make a change in order for the other person to benefit out of it, right? In retrospect, the change happens internally. If we don't do it, this DNA cannot work. You cannot give honor if you are not able to practice this on your life, or if you're not making a mindful and I'm not getting the right word, but if you're not making a mindful change, let's just put it over there. Okay? So, if you have to give this, if you like giving a title to this message, the title could be Living a Life of Honor. Okay? Or you can say how to live a life of honor. Okay, that would be your first question. Now, when I was looking at this word honor, there are many definitions in the dictionary we found on the internet, and I got so confused. I spent 3 hours just trying to find the true meaning of honor, right? And then for some reason, I've never heard about this in my life. If it is a verb, it has a different meaning. If it is a noun, it has a different meaning. And I got so confused because English is not my best strong language, right? I can't understand it. But anyway, I said, okay, fine, let's just take the top 3 ones and see what works. Okay, so it says, the first version says, high respect, great esteem. Okay, another version says, to regard or treat someone with admiration and respect. Okay, and another version is, honor is about giving weight to someone and granting respect and authority. There's a lowest common denominator. When I looked at all these 3 things, there's a lowest common denominator. The world is telling us honor is equal to respect. Okay, but the Bible is telling us something slightly different. Okay, so just jumping back to the definition, okay, of we will elevate. Second word, we freely give. There is no cost, there is no explanation, there is no condition to giving honor. It's very, very clear over here, right? So, therefore, hence proven, honor is not equal to respect, okay? And I'll tell you, so what the church and how we'd like to define honor, and this is also, again, biblical, right? We've written our own definition. So we are saying we define honor as number one, definitely holding someone in great esteem. So we agree with the worldly definition of that, okay? But slightly different, okay? And it's not related to what we see or what we know about the other individual, right? We're giving it without seeing what that person is doing, how accomplished he is or her is or she is. No, nothing, no notion over there, right? I'll give you an example. For the VIPs, make some noise. Yeah, awesome. Okay. When you walked in to church, whenever you did, when you opened the lift, okay, you would have been greeted by someone for sure. Yeah? Yes? No? Okay. I'm saying you've definitely been, I've experienced it. If you've not, ask them next week. Where's my smile? Where is my greeting? Ask them. Okay? Feedback to the VIP coordinator. Anyway. Right? But, and this is something that actually draw me into church, right? One is this weird celebration of someone coming to church, like, hey, hi, good morning, how are you? It's like, where's this energy coming from, right? Number one, and I have known people to say that smile or that welcome, I've never experienced in any other church, okay? There's many, many people that have told me this one point. And it's very simple. Our job is, or the VIP team's job is to, number one, look out for you, is to welcome you, and is to serve you. That is it, right? Very, very simple. Greet them with a smile, look after them, make sure they have a good place to sit, give them a cup of water, make sure they've had a coffee and a treat, right? Look after them, be hospitable. That's it, right? And we are doing this without knowing, yes, who you are. We do this without knowing who you are. We do this without knowing what your background is, how much of money you make, what is your net worth, where you live, what car you drive. Okay? If we have to do it from a worldly perspective, if it was a VIP, the word VIP, we would make sure they have parking. Okay? We would have a chauffeur bring them up. Right? We would give them a coffee in a different cup and saucer. Right? Is anybody, guys, has anybody experienced this or is it just me? Yeah? Okay, fine. I'm just checking. It's also the way to see whether you guys are alive or not. But, right? We treat it based on the worldly definition of this. That's what we mean by honor, right? But we are saying, boss, I don't care who you are. I will respect you, I will honor you, I will give you the best. That is what we are saying. Okay? So, while the world thinks respect or world confuses respect and honor, we are saying no. Okay? This was a favorite part of my preach preparation because this took me back to school. It took me back to school because I don't know how many of you all had difference between. You had one question, right? Difference between, yeah? And the best part of difference between answering is, you only have to learn one side. That's it, easy. Everything else right opposite. You'll get full marks, right? So only one side. If there are 5 points, you only have to learn 5 points. You don't have to learn 10. So I love this. So I did this, I broke this up. So respect is a response to someone's ability, while honor is a response to someone's identity. Okay? And this identity that I'm talking about is the identity in Christ, is the way we see them. Yeah? Then respect is earned, and we often tend to demand it. Hey, give me respect. Yeah? Like, where's my respect? Right? If somebody like cuts you off on the wrong side of the road, what do we say? How do we react? Hey! No, we don't. No, we don't. We're church people. We don't do it. While honor is freely given, and it's not something that we demand, it's something that we give. We don't demand honor, we give it. Okay? So moving on from that, right? So that's why we often find ourselves having that feeling of, hey, I need to do something to earn this person's respect. We are always fighting that. What can I do to get in that door? What can I say to get this guy's attention? Right? We're always trying to figure out a shortcut to get into one particular place. Right? Well, on the other side, honor is we are doing things without feel threatened. There's no, if I do something, there's absolute no repercussions of doing it, of me being nice to someone, of me giving honor. Right? And a side note, when we give honor, okay, the word that is very closely associated to it is sacrifice. Right? I think that's what needs to be there in the dictionary. Because, and we see this word sacrifice only because, and I can tell you how we've experienced honor in my family very recently. Okay? So, when you look at a mom and a child, okay, or a relationship with you and if you are not yet married and have kids, look at your relationship with your mother or whatever is equivalent to a mother, okay? There's always sacrifice over there. She will give you the last idli to eat or the last slice of bread, even though she's not eaten, right? She's sacrificing, but she's also honoring you, right? And when a child receives this, right, they don't know what to do. Sometimes they'll just say thank you, sometimes they're not even thinking about it. But I feel subconsciously we are teaching them how to honor, right? And they will find their own way to express it, right? So Jess has been doing a lot of painting, okay, in our house. She's been doing a lot of painting. Every day for 1 hour she sits and paints. And Eva decided to do this for her. Okay? And I was like, it cost her nothing. Yeah, it cost some paint, but it cost her and cost some time. That was the only thing that Eva did. But this is the way she knew to honor her mother. I thought this was super cool and super amazing that a child can also teach you how to honor. Right? And that's what I want, that's what I'm trying to drive home, right? So that is honor. Honor is freely given. Okay? Respect is earned. Okay? So keep that in mind. So if you need a reason to honor, okay? Does anybody need a reason to honor? No? Okay, I'll give you 3 anyway. Number 1, because we are created in God's image. Yeah? We are. That's one reason to honor. The second reason, before we move in, if we agree that we are created in God's image, right, we are easily able to give honor because we are able to see what God is seeing. So when I look at Ben and it's like, and we don't have a relationship, but I want to honor Ben. It's like, hey man, you've done an amazing time at worship. Or, hey, you have so much of potential, right? You should work on this. Or something. I would give him credit to something so that maybe it's something that he hasn't seen, right? But it's something that needs to be told to him, right? And it costs nothing. So another reason is Jesus died for those people, okay? The people that you're not, or that you want to give honor, or you're finding it difficult to give honor. Jesus died for them the same way as he died for you. There's no difference, right? And just keep that in mind. And the last one is God has plans for them. Yeah? Rayan said this. There is no way, if Rayan did not invite me, right? And he did not see, I really don't know what he saw when he invited me to church. But he invited me and I'm standing over here, right? If he didn't do that, if he didn't push, if he didn't pursue, there's no way that I'd be standing on this stage. There's absolutely no way. I would never dream about it. And it's something that I don't want to do also. I just had to listen to my leader. Praveen and Shana said, you have to speak. So I'm speaking. That's my way of honoring them, obeying and speaking, right? So that's the 3 points. So the moment we are able to start looking at people with those lenses, we can start seeing the value that's in them. So who do we honor? Awesome. You guys are like studied, man. Really cool. Awesome. And 1 Peter says, honor all people, love the brotherhood, fear God, honor the king. Yeah. In Indian context, it will be Prime Minister, just FYI. But it is the truth, right? I had an amazing conversation with Auntie Geeta last week about honoring the king. And she told me ways that you could honor a king or honor the government, and I was amazed. And coming from such a person who knows the law of the land by heart, like she studied it, right? It's amazing to find ways that you can honor people, even though if you don't agree with them. Yeah. So, number 1, guys, we have to honor everyone. Honor is a 360 kind of thing. It's about honoring above you, sideways, and even the people that God has put in trust. Okay, I don't want to say below because that feels, it doesn't feel nice, but the way I see it is God has trusted you with those people. Okay, so, and we can actually leave right now because I've said what I need to say, but I think that's what's cool about the Bible. Right? The Bible is also into specifics. While it likes giving big picture, it also likes giving specifics. Right? Commandment number 1. Okay? Yeah. We are called to honor our parents. Right? Second one is we are called to honor the leaders of our city and nation. Right? We are also called to honor leaders in our church. And lastly, we are called to honor our spouse, children, family, brother, sister. Okay, an extension for it. If you don't believe me, 1 Peter 2:13-14 says, submit yourselves to the Lord's, for the Lord's sake, to every human authority, whether to the emperor as its supreme authority, or to governors who were sent by him to punish those who do wrong and commend those who do right. Okay, so that's honoring our leaders. Honoring our parents, you guys already said it, so we can skip that. It's in Exodus 20:12, by the way, if just in case. But honoring leaders in the church, 1 Thessalonians 5:12-13. Dear brothers and sisters, honor those who are your leaders in the Lord's work. They work hard among you and give you spiritual guidance. Show them great respect and wholehearted love because of their work. Live peacefully with each other. I think it's very, very interesting that they said that last sentence in this thing. Live peacefully with each other. Okay? More on that in a bit. And for the spouse, marriage should be honored by all. Done. Hebrews chapter 13-14. Yeah? So, if these are 4 people, or 4 types of personas that we could honor, right? How do we honor them? How can we show honor? So, here's what I had to do. I cheated a little bit. I spoke to a bunch of people in church, and I've taken a collective answer, and I'm telling you how they are currently honoring these 4 different categories of people. And it also shows us, it kind of opened up my mind in different ways I could respect and honor these people. Okay, so it's not going to be on the screen, so I'll start with the leaders. Okay, the number one answer, okay, from all the people that I've got when it came to honoring our city and our nation is paying your taxes. That was amazing, okay? Second one is voting. Third one is support the law of the land or obey the law of the land, okay? In acts of service, right? Contribute towards society. That's a way you could honor your leaders. Being a responsible citizen and being a positive influence to the society, right? We have enough of people telling us what's not working. A very interesting stat, 80% of the news that you see on social media about Indian government is incorrect. And guess what we do? We forward it. There's no fact checking. Trust, I don't do it. I stopped Instagram, so I can come out of that part. But when I was on Instagram, or when I would have conversations, we'll read a headline and we'll understand something else and we'll post our opinion about it. How many of us are actually fact checking? Okay. And another interesting thing which I've did a study on, the educated people, or I would say the more affluent people, okay, in India, follow more of outside politics than the politics inside India. How many of us know what's going on with, how many of us know that Obama just roasted Donald Trump? Nobody? One, two, yeah? It becomes pop culture, but we don't know who's standing in this particular area or your particular area, right? We don't know. If you ask somebody, it'll either be DMK, AIDMK. But who you vote, you won't be able to pronounce his name. I can't pronounce those people's names. And I think it's important for us to understand it because that's how you can be a positive influence. So when you share something, you're sharing things. I think the biggest problem about sharing something is you are going to influence somebody else in an incorrect way. And I think that's something that we should stay away from. If we share something, make sure that we know what we are doing, study about it, and then share, right? So enough about the government because we love them very much. Our parents, okay, we can vocally express gratitude. Don't be disrespectful. Give them a good life. Consciously spend time with them. Agree even if it's not right. Be there to listen. And lastly, gift. Gift them. Right? It's important. These are very interesting things. And I can tell you this much. After you've crossed a particular age, say 18, you tend to know or tend to act like you know more than your parents. I'm there. Okay, I'm standing over here saying that this is essentially how I look at it. Okay? But we forget that they've lived longer. We might be right, but we have no idea how to communicate that to them. We do it with disrespect. Just listen to me. What are you doing? What do you know? Why are you so dumb? Why you internet illiterate? Is it just me saying these to my parents? Can anybody else? Is anyone are you with me, guys? Yeah? Awesome. Cool. So just be mindful of these things. It's about tone of voice. It's about how you say things. All of these things matter. Leaders in church, okay? This again was a number one answer, okay? Listening, obeying, and applying. Okay? It's not just okay to listen, but you also have to apply. Right? Submission. You have to submit. And there's a side note to this. I would give my opinion, okay? But I won't be hurt if it's not taken. Yeah? Then what are the other ones? Asking if they need help. Responding. Not leaving them in the scene zone. Millennials, Gen Z people, right? What is scene zone? Yeah, fine, no. Basically not giving them the double tick, right? Just swiping down slightly. I saw the first 3 lines, I'll get to it later, right? Now, if you're like me, I hate WhatsApp, and I take 48 hours to respond. I've put it as my status message. Okay? I don't want technology. But if you are looking at it and you choose not to respond to that text or to that message, that is dishonor. If you completely don't see it, it's fine. God knows your heart. But just be mindful when you're looking at, if you're in a group, if you have a group leader, if you're in whatever it is, if you're in a setting and you're responsible for someone or someone is responsible for you, just respond to them. Yeah? Easy. Okay? Don't leave them in the scene zone. And and the last one is avoid judging them. Why? Why avoid judging them? Sorry? You will be judged. Any reason why we should avoid judging them? They are also human. Exactly. Awesome. I love it. Sheki, you're paying attention. Amazing. Spouse. How can we honor a spouse? So you have to be faithful, respectful, handling conflicts properly, doing the small things. Yeah, and I can see all the wives and husbands like, hey, digging, hey. full vibe is going on. Awesome. Like doing the small things, serving each other. And last one, and I think this is the most important one, is being truthful. Yeah, and if you cannot be truthful with your spouse, it's going to be a very hard life for you, right? They won't know, but for you. Okay, so guys, honoring is hard, right? And it is a hard thing to do. When I spoke to all of these people, they were like, yeah, it's in the Bible, you have to do this. Okay, but I asked also some of them, not all, I asked some of them, is it easy? Are you doing it? No, bro, it's difficult. It's hard. Can't do it always. And then I was like, why? Why is it hard? Okay, and two commonalities. Two commonalities of it being hard. Okay, so what stops us from honoring continuously? Point number one, when we don't spend time with God. You know, very interesting, this person said, Neil, it is so easy to have a good day, okay, if I spend my morning with God. I'm able to be more mindful. I'm able to be more thoughtful in terms of the words I say, in terms of the tone of voice, in terms of how I deliver a stressful situation. It's very easy. And even if I mess up, I'm faster to go and solve the problem. But days that I don't do it, it becomes hard. Right? And that's why I said honoring needs to be a continuous thing. It can't be like whenever I feel it. Okay? Because that's what God's asking us to do, right? God's asking us to live a life of honor. Right? And in order to do that, it has to be a continuous thing. I can't go to the gym once in 4 months and expect anything to happen. Doesn't work. Same thing to do with relationship. Okay? The second one, and this is a big one, is unforgiveness. Now, this was the point that I spent the most amount of time talking to people. Because there's a lot of heaviness, right? There's a lot of heaviness when it comes to forgiveness. And guys, if you want to honor, this is the biggest hurdle that we have to get. We have to somehow try and jump up. Okay? And the only way we're going to jump if we do step one. So it's like what do they call? A vicious circle, something like that way. I'm not sure what the right word is, but it's dependent. In order to pass point 2, you have to do point 1. There is no way you can do it otherwise. Very, very difficult. Okay? And I think the biggest reason unforgiveness is difficult. Why? Sorry? Yeah, that's the reason for unforgiveness. But another reason for, like, why am I not able to forgive? Impact, yeah. Ego, wow. Auntie stole my words. Pride. Hurt. Think about the people we are not able to forgive. We are not able to forgive the people that we care about. Yes? I don't hold a grudge with the government. Right? It's easy for me to honor the government than to sometimes honor my parents. Yeah? Why? There's no love loss. I vote, that's about it. Okay, fine. You give me some 2-3 benefits. Okay, fine. I got roads. Very happy. Right? That's it. You don't do the roads, I'll be like, okay, fine, man, I'll give you next year. But with our parents, with our siblings, with our loved ones, they just have to do something to irritate you or to hurt you, and that's it. You stop talking to them. You lose connect. Right? And so speaking for myself, right, the main thing that helps, or that basically stops me from forgiving is like what Auntie said, my ego. Right? I am right. That person is wrong. They have to understand that they are wrong and come and say sorry to me. Anybody went through that same dialogue in their head? Yeah. Okay? And I'm glad I'm not the only one, guys, to be very honest. I'm super glad. When both ego and hurt, and this is what I've kind of, through spending time with this word, this is what came to me, right? Ego and hurt, when you put both of that together, they are a very potent cocktail. It just goes down a very, very downward slope, right? And it basically, what it does is it stops us from moving on. It stops us from letting go. It stops us from letting go of grudges, right? And it's also hard sometimes because we rather not deal with the confrontation. I'll tell you a simple example. My relationship with my dad has been very, very bad. Okay? And I went 2 years not talking to him. Why? It's unnecessary. There is absolute no point anyway. I'll say what I want to say. He's going to be that same person. But what it did to me was, it held me back for 2 years. It held me back to a point that it became a very weird topic in my house. Nobody would speak about my dad also, because he knew how it made me felt. Okay? And the minute I was able to forgive, and if it wasn't for my friend, a friend of mine who worked with me for 2 years consistently about this one topic. When are you going to talk to him? When are you going to call him? When are you going to call him? The only thing that he would say is just this one point, right? He's not a Christian, but he would just continuously say that. I don't know why, but he did it. I said, you know what? To heck with it. Let's just call him. And it changed. It changed to a point where now I've forgiven him. I've accepted him for who he is because I know he's human, right? And like we sang today, God gave me grace. I have to show grace, right? I'm lighter, right? And even though I know my mom and my dad don't have a relationship, I'm a bridge now between them. And I have to keep pushing back. I'm literally playing Chinese whispers sometimes with them. Some person will come and tell me something. In their irritation, I'll take it and I'll go and say something else. Okay? I have become a communicator in my family, which I love. It's fine. At least I'm moving on. I'm helping people move on, right? I was able to tell my sister, hey, say hi to dad. Send her a message. Send him a message. And it took her some time. It took her hard work, but she did it. Right? And I'm saying, guys, if you decide to take on these challenges, 100% somebody you're going to change as well. It's a contagious thing. It's as good as Eva putting that photograph, right? The painting, right? It's contagious. It's a contagious thing. And there's another thing when it comes to parents and forgiveness is the fact that we're not able to let go, right? Sometimes we sometimes want to blame our parents for our situation. Yeah? All of us, all the kids in this place wish to have had a rich parent? Yes or no? Yeah. If we can all have Ambani's money in our house, we would have been really, and it's mostly when you were a child. Okay? All of us said, I wish my mom and dad were this. I wish my mom and dad had this. I wish. And then you start blaming them. Because of you, I'm in this situation. Because of you, I can't go to a nice college in, I don't know, France. Right? Some nonsense we say. And we end up with what happens is we start building, digging hurt in ourselves, which causes us to have a rebellion with them at one point of time in our life, right? And a friend of mine said this: the minute I started, or the minute I let go of this hurt, I started loving them again. Okay? And this friend is not a Christian. He understood it. He understood in order for me to let go, in order for me to have this relationship, I have to accept my parents for what they are. Okay? And move ahead. And that was amazing. That was a revelation to me. Right? So summarize, guys, very quickly. We've definitely gone above time. We've learned, or at least we've spoken about the meaning of honor, the difference between honor and respect. Who do we need to honor? Examples of how to honor, and reasons why we find it hard to honor. Okay? Now, to make it super practical, and if I have to, one thing that you can take away from this, message, to honor is to serve. In order to honor, you have to serve, right? And that's what Jesus Christ came for. He came to serve, not be served, right? And this is something that Jesus was very clear about. So that's the first reason, okay, why you should serve. We give honor not just by building up our own lives, but by building up other people's lives. Yeah? The last one, there's actually three more, sorry. The life that God had called us to do was to not live a life where we come on a Sunday, take all the information, get all this amazing things, sing this amazing songs, feel great about our lives, thank Jesus. The minute we walk out, we forget to share that with somebody. Yeah? And I'm not saying take a Bible, walk on the street and talk. No, you don't need to do that. You can do that by when your maid comes over, and this is something that a friend of mine said, the way I honor my maid is when she comes into the house, I let her sit on my table and eat. Right? Simple ways. So if you're able to do that, you're serving other people that you've hired to serve you. Right? So think about that in any possible way you can easily do it, right? And just to summarize, right? So in how Jesus says, I think there was this conversation, God, how do we serve you? Right? I might be paraphrasing at this point, and it could be, how can I honor Jesus? Right? That was what. And in Matthew 25. Okay, this is just one part of it. I would encourage you to go, if you want to understand this entire context, understand it. But this is just the one part of it. The king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Okay, so again, to honor is to serve. Right? And remember, guys, we are not doing this for anything else but for Jesus. It's as simple as that, right? So, one way is to serve. Another way that you could possibly do is, honor is simply expressed by words and actions. It is an action word. And to be very honest, guys, this is why I love our DNAs. Because all our DNAs are action words. And the lowest common denominator, if we have to put, is change. It is to change your mind, your heart, your body to become fit and healthy, and even your spirit. Change is the lowest common denominator in all our DNAs, and I think that's what we need to, that's why we should take this on. That's why we need to take on this mantle, and that's why we should be excited about this. These are the tools, these DNAs are going to be tools for you to be able to go out and make change and to have impact. Cool, right? So, easy ways to put it in practice. Spend time with God this week, okay? Try and do it for 7 days, okay? And ask Him 2 questions. God, who can I serve? When He gives you the answer, give that person a call. Don't do a message, call them. Do an uncomfortable thing, okay? Second one, God, who can I forgive? Or show me someone that I need to forgive, even if I've forgotten it. And give that person a call. Do an uncomfortable thing. Okay? Because it is in the uncomfortable we find growth. We learned that through the first message that we heard from Pastor Praveen. Through the uncomfortable, there is growth. Right? So honoring will not cost you anything. Elevating somebody will not cost you anything. Okay? Yeah. And He will not take away anything from you. There's absolutely nothing. So, the way I'd like to end today's preach is very simple. Okay? I'm going to do a response. And the response needs to be something within. Okay? It like I said, change has to happen. So, think about all the ways, all the people that we have to honor, all the ways that we are honoring them, okay? And if there is something that stood out to you in today's message, when you heard it, you felt something like a pain in your chest, right? That's how I know God is talking to me. When someone tells something and like my heart hurts, it's like the most uncomfortable thing to do. I believe that's God's telling you that's something that you have to work on. Okay, so if you felt that nudge, or it could be even a gentle tap. Hey man, it would have been a tap from your spouse. Hey, maybe this is something that you have to work on. If it is that, okay, I would love for you to stand, okay, at that point of time. So we'll close our eyes in prayer, okay, and if at any point of time that you want to stand and that you want to make this change, don't hesitate. Okay? So Father God, thank you so much for these simple principles that you teach us, Lord. Thank you for the church, and thank you for everybody that has spent the time understanding you, understanding what you want for us, and make it so simple for us to execute. I pray that this week that we will be doing the hard thing. Father, you know the things that you want us to change. And you know what we need to do. We need to accept the fact that it is hard, but also accept the fact that you are there to help us through this. So if anybody would like to stand up now in response, now would be the time. And it could be people, it could be reasons, and these are some of the things that could have happened, right? You could have been hurt by someone in church. In true leadership, and you're not able to go through it. You could have been hurt by misused authority. You could have been hurt by always respecting over love, right? Like, for example, respect. Someone's always told you to respect them rather than love them. It could be hurt through parents. It could be hurt through friends. Hurt by your siblings, hurt by your boss, and hurt by a business partner. If any of this relates to you, I'd urge you to stand, to make this decision and say, God, I want to be able to honor freely. Awesome. Thank you for standing. Jesus, thank you. Thank you once again for speaking to us through your words. And thank you for the courage that you've given everybody to make that decision to change. We love you, Lord. And we want to be able to serve you and honor you all the days of our life. It's going to be hard, but we know you are there to look after us and give us that strength to make the hard decisions and to do the hard things, Lord. We thank you, Jesus, for the life change in this church and for everything that you're about to do with all these people. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Thank you for watching this video. We are Praveen and Shana Emmanuel, pastors of Freedom Church, Chennai.
We hope that the word that you heard today spoke to you, and if
Yeah.
it did, please leave us a comment. If you have a prayer request, email us at chennai@freedomchurch.cc.
That's right. And if you'd like to know more about our church and our ministry, scan the QR code and you'll get all the information you need. God bless you.